Thank you, Wei Jin, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. When I was asked by Wei Jin to come, and this is not the first time, I always try to say yes. And half the time I don't know why I say yes, except that I just want to support her. And I say, I don't know why I say yes, because I also don't know sometimes what she's actually organizing. Yeah? But I believe whatever she's organizing, it must be good. So here I am. So I was asked also to make a little speech, and I was thinking, what am I going to say about this space, for mental well-being? Then I say, well, no harm just coming and say a few things and then learn from the rest. So I'm looking forward to learn from our speakers. And I'm quite sure that they will help us find space for mental well-being. Let me begin by getting some help from the World Health Organization, since we're talking about mental well-being. It now defines health not as the absence of ill health, but as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. A state of complete physical, mental, social well-being. The definition of health has been changing and now includes an awareness of the interrelationship. That's what Wei Jin was trying to say. The interrelationships between social and the psychological, as well as medical factors. The way in which the individual functions in society is seen as part of this definition of health, a holistic definition, alongside with biological and physiological, environmental symptoms. Health is no longer simply a question of access to medical treatment, but it is determined by a range of factors, including the way we create space for ourselves and for those around us and other creatures, big and small, to improve our holistic mental and social and physical health. The way we find and use space, and I like to define space here as in terms also of inner space, the inner space of emotion, the inner space of the intellect, spiritual nourishment. We have Muslim and Hindu and Buddhists, I'm sure, and some Christians. We are a multi-religious and racial society. So there is this interaction of all the different spirituality existing in one society, small as we are. And there is spiritual nourishment. I learn from all different religions, even though I am a Christian. And the outer space as well, the outer space of physical environment. Because when we can find space, inner and outer, to nourish our mental health, it will have long-term effect on our well-being. So a more holistic approach to improving mental health is to take our cues from health-supporting behaviors, not health-destroying behaviors. Dance is a health-supporting behavior. Environmental and ecological management, that is for the benefit of all the other creatures, keeping our city clean, which I'm very much involved in, keeping the environmental safe for everybody. That's all part of our health-supporting behavior. Being kind is a health-supporting behavior. In sum, finding and using space for health-supporting activities will ultimately have great impact on us, especially when we as a society is aging. There's nothing wrong with aging. Aging is an inevitability. In fact, I have been telling the journalists and others, stop using the word tsunami to describe the fact that we have more and more older people. Tsunami is a disaster. getting old. It's not. One of my mentors is Professor James Houston of Canada, UBC. I did my graduate work there from 40 years ago. He is now 95. And recently he was with me and some of the alumni in Singapore, traveling by himself, still giving lectures at 95, and he's completed his 40th book. 40th. Isn't it amazing? And countless academic articles. What is his secret? He told me that his secret is to find space to sage, meaning to grow wiser, and not just to age, meaning to grow older. So he says, better sage than just age, right? Now that's right on foursquare on what you're trying to do, Wei Jing. And I want to be like him. He's got 40 books, I only got 10 books, I got 30 books to catch up, but look, you know, I've got 25 more years to go, right? I'm 70, so maybe I'll catch up. Thank you. And I still put in 12 hours a day at work. I just signed on with the kindness movement. They wouldn't let me go. I say it's time for me to retire. They say, no, give us another 3 years. So, and I'm going to probably retire at 73, hopefully. But you know, we all don't really retire. We just change our pace and change our work. By then, I hope and trust that all our grandchildren would have completed their university in 3 years. Because my eldest grandson is already in 3rd year engineering. Not chemical, but mechanical. And all of them, 3 of them, will be completing university by the time I'm 73. I believe so, God willing. Besides work, I find space for supporting good causes, like this one. I find time for good people like Wei Jing and my sister, Dr. Radia. I find time to work out every day, and I have a bucket list to do every year. I started 10 years ago with a bucket list when I retired from law, and I started with skydiving, and since then I have done scuba diving and all sorts of other wonderful things that I never had time to do until now. I find space also to read and meditate and reflect and think. We are too busy. We are Russians, rushing here and rushing there. We hardly read, we hardly think, we hardly reflect. I find space to do that. I get up every day at 5 o'clock to do that. To keep my mind active, I continue to speak at some event every week, actually. And I write. Every year, I write 4 opinion articles for the Straits Times, and I contribute to other magazines as well. This year has been a rather productive year. Last week, we launched this book, Towards a Kind and Gracious Society. But I must warn you, this is written from a Christian perspective. The subtitle is A Christian Perspective on Being Good Neighbors. But I'm quite sure that whether you're Muslim, Hindu, or Buddhist, you will also find this helpful. In fact, I'm trying to get a Buddhist and a Muslim and a Hindu friend to write a similar book with a different perspective. A Hindu perspective, a Buddhist perspective, and Hindu, Buddhist, and Muslim perspective on good neighborliness. Even a Sikh perspective, I can find one. I have a few copies here, and they're at $10. If you buy them, I sign them, all the proceeds will go to support Wei Jing. Right? Well, this June and July, I will have 2 more books out. My Best with Honor is commissioned by the Singapore Scout Association. I'm on a Scout Council. I know that you have a Scout group, right? Have you got an open Scout troop? No. Okay. And this book is about outstanding scouts, Tommy Koh and Professor Tommy Koh and Louis Bao-Chuen and Liu Tan. Scouting has tremendous values, and I want to promote scouting to the young people. And scouting teach young people to respect the environment and to take care of it. The other book is commissioned by the Dyslexia Association of Singapore. It's titled Clearly Different, Discovering the Differences, to celebrate their 25th anniversary. It showcases how early intervention helps dyslexic children grow up and achieve their very talented potential. Dyslexic people are very talented, except that they are often misunderstood, misdiagnosed, and they're considered stupid, slow, cannot read. It's very unkind to them. So this book will promote kindness to these people. And yes, I find space for lots of fun. I enjoy simple things like a Scrabble game, listening to music, watching a movie with my wife, entertaining friends with a cup of coffee or whatever, talking about anything and everything. Taking walks through parks and cemeteries. Especially when I'm abroad, I like to walk cemeteries. You know why? Not only is it well kept, but more importantly, I read the epitaph. And it makes me humble to realize that no matter how clever we are, how smart, how wealthy, how powerful, we all end up there, the same way as everybody else. There is no room to be proud and arrogant. We're just ordinary people. And I enjoy playing with our dog, Daisy. And most importantly, I find space to be kind, to accept kindness from people, and to start to show and to share kindness with others. Studies have shown that being kind is the biggest boost to our health and well-being and happiness. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here with me. Please find space to develop your mental well-being.